Welcome back to another Being One World presentation. In this video, we're going to go over presence. My name is Nicholas Clay. I'm the founder of Being One World, and I coach and teach mindfulness. And I hope that you get value out of this video today and that it helps you in life and in practicing mindfulness. And I hope that out of this video, you understand presence a little deeper, because we're going to go behind the curtain on what stops us from being able to be fully present. Presence. What is presence? Well, I think most people, if not everyone, understands present, being in the here, being in the now. What we may not all understand is what goes behind the scenes of actually fully being here present and being here in the now. What I'm going to go over today is more of what holds us back from having our full awareness, our full focus on being in the here and now. On this slide, you'll notice a little arrow timeline, right, going across the bottom. And you'll see that in the top right, we have worry, anxiety. In the top left, we have sadness, regret. And then we have some binoculars up front. Right? It's binoculars representing looking straight ahead, being present. And the eyes going to the right, thinking of the future. That's usually where most of our worry and experience of anxiety comes from. And the eyes looking to the left, looking at the past, that's usually where most of our sadness and regret comes from. The truth is, we're never going to touch the past. We're never going to touch the future. It's always now. And when we can practice our presence, we can practice focusing on the now, we'll find that that's where our power lies. That's what we can do something with. We can't do anything with the future. We can plan for it. It's the always and forever now that builds this perceived future. Well, the past, we're never going to go back and change it. What we can do, though, is take a look at those situations, those thoughts that are disturbing us about the past, and make a completion with those so we don't need to think about them anymore, so they no longer cause us sadness, so we're freed up from them. And when we're being present, then there's one thing left to do. When we're being present, then it's about where are we operating from. And you'll see the map of consciousness there, where we can operate from our lowest point, our lowest experience, which is shame, or we can operate from our highest experience, which is enlightenment. And enlightenment, simply put, is becoming the observer. It's dialing down our ego. And it's raising our awareness to have observation without judgment. Judgment comes from a place of I. To be the observer, to be enlightenment, there can be no judgment. Doesn't work. Oil and water doesn't mix. And then this slide, what we have is a nice country road. And as I said, thought distances us from the present, whether we're thinking about the future or thinking about the past. And what does that mean, to distance us from the present? Well, it distracts us. It prevents us from taking in everything that's right in front of us. As you can see in this graphic, it's the difference between actually noticing this beautiful drive through the country or thinking about anything else. And this happens so often for so many of us, we don't even notice the beauty that's right in front of us. It's the difference between getting somewhere just for the sake of getting there, as opposed to appreciating the journey towards our next destination, our next temporary destination. And that's the same in life. Are we getting somewhere just to get somewhere, missing everything that's right in front of us, missing the beautiful scenery as life passes us by? Are we not happy with our life, so we actually don't want to be in the here and now, and we don't want to focus what's going on? Because ultimately, we're either happy with our life and we're missing what's right in front of us, or we're unhappy with our life, and by not being present, we're giving away our ability to actually alter and transform what is right in front of us. Because without being present, without being aware, without being focused on what is, then we have no power to transform it. So either way, we're missing out on something. Whether you're happy enjoying life, there's so much more there to appreciate. And if you do practice presence, then you understand what I mean by that, and you are getting a sense of that enjoyment. Okay? And if we're not practicing presence, then we're missing the beauty that's all around us. We're missing the vitality that we get back from being in nature and connecting and appreciating that. And it's the same with being with people. I'm sure most of us, if not everyone, understands that thinking of the past, thinking of the future, thinking in general distracts us and it keeps us from being fully here. That's the easier side of being present. The more challenging space to understand in presence is how some of our awareness is held captive in our subconscious. Well, how does that happen? Well, take a look here. This next slide, we see this very bright light at birth. And that's how we come into the world. A ball of light, a ball of energy, a human with possibility. We don't have a who developed yet. We're figuring that out. We're figuring the world out, figuring out where we are. And so we're being present. That's all we can be. We're here, we're now, we're not thinking that much. We don't even have language developed to even have thoughts of. We don't have enough input. We don't even know what there would be to think of. We're being. And that's the purity of presence. And then, as you can see on the slide, as that light moves on, you'll see a little figure there of this person where they presently are. Well, what's this lightning that's going through the light? Well, that lightning is what's causing the light to dim. That lightning is why that person only has 70% of their awareness, because that lightning is giving an illustration of what it looks like when we're disturbed in our life. We go through experiences and we get a trauma, and that creates like a parachute in our subconscious. It creates a parachute as far as holding us back in life, because a piece of our psyche gets stuck in that experience. We stop growing a little bit, and we develop this defense to protect that part of us. And we go a little further in life, and then we see another deviation of the lightning bolt there. Well, there's a trigger that gets developed, another negative incident that we don't complete, that we don't heal, that we don't process. That takes up a little bit of awareness. And then another one happens, maybe an incomplete conversation that's still bugging you because you didn't actually say what there was to say. And all these incidents that are unaddressed, that's what behind the curtain holds back some of our awareness as well. And this is where you see the difference between those in life that have a lot more vitality and vibrance to them, as opposed to those that are more down and dim because of the hurt and the pain that they have that's unaddressed, which isn't helping them deal with what is right now. And you lose the focus, the energy, and the awareness to create your life, and you become a victim of your life. That process is a little bit more challenging to clear up, however, can be done. It's like driving a car at night and your lights will only turn on to 70% brightness. Imagine how much harder it is to see and navigate around, let alone if you're not keeping your eyes on the road. Well, that's what it's like going through life. This is our vehicle, and our awareness, our focus, that's our light for our path, for what we want to accomplish, for where we want to go. And so it would make sense that we would want 100% of our brightness. We'd want 100% of our lights to be able to shine and illuminate the path and the road ahead of us. This next slide shows what that looks like. When we address and we complete and we process and we heal those past parts of our psyche, of our mind, of our childhood, of our adolescence, of our young adulthood, we get our full awareness back. And this allows us to be powerfully present, to have our full focus, to direct wherever we need be. And that goes back to the first couple slides. Then it's us practicing the easier and more practical side of presence, and that's just where our mind is. Where are we thinking? And then we become a lot more powerful, because when we address the things in our past that are unsettled and we clear that up, then all sights are full. Then all power, all visibility, all focus gets freed up to direct it towards the things that matter the most, which is now. Because this is what's living, this is what's real, this is what we have to work with, is the now. Past has already happened, it's gone. So it doesn't do us much good to have these issues behind us weighing us down. And why is this figure orange? Well, if you refer back to the map of consciousness, these triggers, these traumas, these incomplete conversations, these defenses that we create in ourselves, well, that all comes from our lower mind. Those red and orange and yellow areas of the map of consciousness, from shame, from grief, from apathy, from guilt, from fear, from anger, from pride, from desire. How do we cut those ropes to the anchors and the parachutes? That's why you book a coaching session. That's what I teach people to do. So let's look at the next graphic. What happens when you free that up? What happens to your light? What happens to your available awareness to be present? That enhances. And you get that light back that we had when we were newborns, when we were children. That's what you get back in your life. And unfortunately, many of us go through some sort of experiences that dim our light along the way. Mindfulness coaching is not just about practicing presence. It's also about going deep into the mind to find those areas that's actually holding on to some of our presence, holding on to some of our light, and getting that back to the present now, so it's available for use and not stored in our past mind. And we can see this in conversation. It's those conversations that we don't want to have, or we're tiptoeing around subjects, or we're passive in how we speak. All that requires focus. To some extent, there's some focus and there's some awareness there that protects certain areas of our mind. And that's holding us back from having our full focus in the now. When we can walk through life and not have to look over our shoulder, not worry who we're going to run into because we've cleaned up all these things in our past, we cleaned up things with people, we've addressed our traumas. When we can be open to have any conversation with anybody, that's when we become our most powerful. That's when we can focus the most on the present, because we have nothing else in our mind that's holding us back. And that's what's available through the full extent of mindfulness coaching. I thank all of you for watching. If you found value in this video, please do me a favor. Subscribe, follow, like, share it with somebody, and consider what benefit mindfulness coaching could be for you. Cut. I did look into one of those markers, though. I'm going to get one. By video 20, I'm going to have a Hollywood thing. The official cut. All right, I think we're good. Is that it? Is that everything? Let me think about it. I like this one. Short and sweet, too. Now, I'm sure most enough. Yeah, I think that's good. Right. Is that a good analogy? Oh. Until next time. See what I did there? Time. Mental construct. It is a useful tool, though.